Live. All right. I was wondering what everyone thinks of our background since we played around a lot with this too. So anyway, so everybody, I guess, wants to know why I was on hold for 8 hours or almost 8 hours with Delta yesterday. Okay?
Desperately wants to know.
Desperately wants to know. But before we do that, I just want to point out, look at these. Barkley Honors. This one is for Website of the Year, Positive Educational Training. This one is for Bleeding Injuries, Video of the Year.
Uh-huh.
And what's this one, Chris?
That one is for the Traveling Groomers podcast.
Yeah.
I should have mine by the end of the week. Mary, you're going to be able to wallpaper an entire wall of your office.
Seriously.
And I think you actually should. Like, not with the real ones, but take like pictures of them and make a huge wallpaper and just like.
Well, I mean, if someone has that particular skill, please let me know. Oh, but anyway. All right. So, customer service. So I'm going to start off by saying the reason that I was on the call with Delta was my own fault. Okay. About, I don't know, a couple of months ago, when rental cars were getting really hard to come by, I started to pre-book a bunch of trips. My husband goes out to New York once a month to visit his mother, see his doctor out there. And so there was one day that I literally was booking trip after trip after trip. So not only his trip, our trip, I booked a vacation for us and our grandson. I had booked a couple of the trips I needed to take. So I was probably booked that day, I don't know, about 6 different airlines, 6 different tickets, plus the rental cars and the hotel and all that yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Right? So I made a mistake on one of the tickets. Well, I didn't realize that until he got to the airport yesterday. Oh, no. And I had booked the flight, and the flight was in my name, not his. Oh, no. Yeah. So you know what? He went over to special services, and this is why I was angry. All right. Mm-hmm. Because my husband, and for those, I'm going to preface it, for those who think that what I'm about to say is not true, it is. You may not have noticed it because you don't live it. Okay. My husband is Spanish, very Spanish looking Spanish. So not even like could go either direction. No, he's very Spanish.
He is not at all like ethnically ambiguous. This is like, he looks like South American.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So he goes up to them and he had me on the phone. Okay. And you know what? I am very used to getting things done. If there is a problem, all right, I resolve it. All right. And when there's ever been issues in things that happen in our lives, I'm always the one who takes care of it. All right. If something needs to be returned, I take care of it. If there's a problem, I deal with it. So they wouldn't even talk to him at the desk. They're like, no, you have to buy a new ticket. And he's saying, it's the same last name. My wife is on the phone. They would not even talk to him. And that is what pissed me off. All right. Mm-hmm. So they made him buy another ticket, which was almost $800.
Oh God.
And then they wouldn't put his TSA number on it, his pre-check number, because they said it was a false number.
What the actual?
Yeah.
What?
So, all right. So I get on the phone with Delta and sat on the phone for like almost 8 hours. Literally put my phone on speaker, kept it charged, kept it plugged in, and can't do too much when one of your phones is and I'm getting annoyed. Because I know if this situation would have been reversed, I could have handled it, because one of the options on Delta's phone is if one of the problems is you need to change the name on a ticket. So obviously, this is not an unheard of situation.
This happens.
They have methods to deal with this. All right. So
yeah.
So yes, it was an absolute mistake on my part. Okay.
But that happens it's got to happen all the time, especially if you're booking flights for other people and you book. Yeah.
All right. So it's like I said, it's not something that was aware like this doesn't ever happen. All right. And I understand security and all of the airlines were dealing with IDA. Okay. But that was not necessarily an issue at SeaTac. Okay.
Yeah.
Just regular flights coming in and out. There was no excuse for coming in with a problem. All right. And then being treated like that. All right. So that's a customer service issue. All right. So when we look at how we interact with other businesses, all right. Sometimes, okay, like for example, and I'll go into what the Delta solution was for me. Okay.
It better be you better be flying first class for the rest of your natural fucking life.
No, we're not. All right. Like I said, this was my mistake. Okay.
But their blatant racism,
yeah, but you know what?
Not your mistake.
No, and you know what? And it won't be addressed because it's going to be my word against their words. Okay. So even if they call up and speak to them, that's not how they'll portray it. Meanwhile, I have a Sky Miles account, all right, with a fair amount of miles on it. So, but the ticket had the Sky Miles account on it. So it would have been really easy to like type that in and see who was on the plan there with me. Or the number of tickets that I purchased for him.
Or the amount of times he makes that exact flight.
Yeah. So, hold on a second. Wow. Okay, we got messages here. I didn't even notice.
Oh yeah, no, I've been reading them. And the funniest thing is on the restream,
yeah,
it just says Facebook user, but it said crud. And I'm like, why is Angie coming up as just Facebook user? Because I knew that was Angie.
So I finally okay, actually, let's getting back to things happen, all right? Sometimes things happen. It's an obvious mistake, all right? But how as businesses do we respond to something that is obviously a mistake? And my husband is not confrontational. I'm confrontational. Well, you may believe that or not believe that. I'm confrontational, okay? If there's a problem, I'm going to deal with it, all right? And it's going to be resolved, I'm going to say 999,000 times out of a million, whatever, all right? It's going to be resolved. I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know I can do that. And it's not, and while I've had to pull the Karen card a time or two, it's not that. It's just, this is the problem and you got to resolve it. And I'm not questioned and my integrity is not questioned because of how I look. Okay.
Sadly, yes. And honestly, I don't know if Ernesto ever calls you out on this. I get this from Cam when I'm acting maybe a little what might be called Karen in public because something didn't work properly. And he's like, you know what, when you pull that, when you're by yourself, that's one thing. But I'm right here people treat me differently than they treat you, and they treat us sometimes differently. So don't get me in trouble because of how you're aggressively standing up for myself, is what I call it sometimes.
All right. So I get them on the phone, finally get somebody to talk to, and I explain what has happened. All right. And about 15, 20 minutes later, we get the supervisor on the phone because obviously this is not just something fairly simple. All right. So what Delta did, all right, after apologizing profusely, which they needed to do, all right, again, I really want to emphasize this problem was because of me, all right, because I'm the one that made the mistake on this, all right. They refunded the ticket.
Which ticket?
The $800 ticket.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And the ticket I bought was for the cattle car in the back.
Mm-hmm.
His ticket, because it was last minute, was in the nicer seats. So they refunded the full ticket price, and then they kept him where he was. And you know what? And honestly and truly, I was satisfied with that. I don't need first class for the rest of my life. There was a problem. It needed to be resolved, and it should not have been handled the way it was handled.
Yes, you are still nicer than I would have been about it.
Yeah, but that's not going to say the next trip that I take to SeaTac, I don't visit the special services counter at Delta.
Also true. Also true. Did he get names?
No, he would never get names. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the name. No, but see, that's my husband. I would have had the names of the people.
You would have had their freaking social security numbers out of them.
But I think part of, I guess, what I really wanted to talk about this, and I would not have waited 8 hours on hold like that had it not been because of an error on my part. All right. But you know what? It needed to be resolved before he flew home.
Yes, but the fact that it is an option on that menu says that it's a common, easy mistake.
This it is not, my estimate, is not fully resolved. When he gets home, we'll do round 2. Only I won't wait 8 hours on the phone.
Okay.
To do it.
You'll just make sure he's home safe.
Once he's home, like I said, I'm at a SeaTac all the time. All right. I will be flying out in October for myself. He'll be flying out again in September. But the next time I'm in the airport, I will deal with it. You know?
Now, are you flying Delta next time you're in the airport?
I am, yes.
Oh, okay. So you have so you're even at that terminal. You're at that terminal. You have reason to go at it.
But I will be polite about it because I'm not going to have them toss me out of the airport when I got to go somewhere.
Fair. Because they can really quickly.
Absolutely can. I might wait till I get back and have it.
That would be, you know what? That's the safest, just in case you lose your temper.
No, the thing is, I won't lose my temper. I will be very even, but I will let them know. And I will pull in upper management on that. I'm like, yeah, who's the boss that's not here?
Yeah. Like, not even the person you see every day.
Yeah.
The person that is like, oh shit, Timmy's coming.
Yeah.
Put your tie on straight.
Mm-hmm.
take all that non-approved corporate product and hide it. What oops, they don't have corporate product, but you're a non-corporate approved product, but y'all know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, mistakes happen on both sides. And the point of this entire thing is it's not never making mistakes. It's how you then handle them.
Yes.
And what you then do. When I was, when my husband and I worked together at a small shop, we ran late often because we got overbooked. There were boarding dogs, and I often had to stop what I was doing to check boarding and daycare dogs in or out. So that made the groom dogs run late. And we discovered when we placed an order from Pet Edge, they had these, you could buy them in like this big standee, this little stuffed toys for like not even a couple bucks each. Like the resale was like $5, but if you buy them by the gross, they were like $1.50 or something or less. We found that, oops, we ran late. Here's a toy. Here's like a toy that cost us practically nothing. And it made super angry people super happy. It like flipped a switch. It was insane. Like I could see them taking that breath to yell. And I just went, I am so sorry. Today went horribly. Here is a toy for Floofy that, take this on us and thank you for your patience. Ah! Like that. Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, we can't see who, because we're on Restream, we can't see. It was all it says is Facebook user, Facebook user, Facebook user. Some battles are worth our patience, even when it isn't warranted. That's a difficult lesson I have had to learn lately, tackling issues. Yeah.
That is Amanda. And
that's battles. Yes, absolutely.
That's like advanced warfare.
Yeah.
That's advanced warfare. You generally don't learn that until your minimum upper 30s or have had a really hard life. That's a very, very difficult lesson to learn, because when you are young and full of energy, every hill, you're like, I will die on any hill. Just put a hill in front of me. Oh, it's a little rise. I will die on that. As you get older, the hills you're willing to die on become fewer and fewer and fewer.
All right. So I have a couple of phones in this list. I have 2 separate phones, 2 separate phone numbers. So when I finally get Delta on the phone, I get my husband up on the other phone and put them all on speaker so we all talk to each other. Because that's after 8 hours of being on hold. And it was just like doing the call waiting thing on the phone was just a little bit too much for my brain to grasp at that point. So basically I had 2 phones so that they can hear each other, not that they can really communicate, but they can hear each other.
Yeah.
And I'm telling this woman what's going on and what happened. And it's just like, well, why are you telling them that? God, why? Why am I telling that? Because the next person that comes in after you, all right, even if they don't address that with me on the phone, this phone call has been recorded.
And they do, from working in a call center, hopefully it was on a call observation. So hopefully big bosses might have even heard that. They do get listened to, and they can be used. They really mean it with that message. They do use those things for training. Managers can and will listen to those. So yeah, maybe some good would come of that.
Right. Okay. So, I guess while you have us here, we're here for like another, 7 minutes, Chris?
Yes, I could show you my art.
Oh God, yes, please. This is amazing. Chris, show us.
That is glass. Ooh. See, there's the back, all flat and flipped, and this is like bumpy and it has texture. So apparently, I believe I have found a new obsession. This is even better than paint and chill. There is near me in Morristown is Glassworks Studios, and they have different projects you can do and things you can make, and you can work with. They give you squares of glass and they teach you how to like score it and break it to make things. And or you can just, this is more a mosaic, and most of this stuff was not pieces that I cut. Most of this was either small bits of glass where they had little things, or bits that I just took off trays in the middle, because they don't like to waste glass because it's not cheap like paint. Those paint places, they're like, have another gallon, have all the paint you want. This is like, yeah, you pay by the square of glass because glass is not cheap. And the little bits that are broken and people don't use, they just kind of put in big trays in the middle. And you can just take as much of that as you want as long as it gets used. So half of this was just picked out, found glass. I'm like, I like this color and this color and this, and here's some glass dust, and don't get that in your fingers. I only bled once making this.
That's good to know. Maybe wear gloves.
Yeah, but then you can't get the delicate things. It's okay.
Well, you can like wet the glove, right?
Did you just go like this, like wet the glove, like as in put it in your mouth and possibly ingest glass? Is that what you just did?
Before you touch the glass.
Oh, okay.
All right. You could stick your finger in a glass of water, right? And then like just touch it and have all the glass pieces on your finger.
Oh, and it's not soldered together. What they do is, I'm looking at the comments. What you do is you then leave it there. You kind of glue the big pieces in place with like a teeny bit of glue, and you leave it there, and they put it in a kiln and they fire it up for you. So it like melts there, like to make almost legit stained glass. Is very fun. Very, very fun.
Okay, there's a glass making place in Tacoma. I wonder if they do the same thing.
Well, no, there's a glass blowing studio in Tacoma, which you can go and do glass blowing, which I was supposed to do, but the show got canceled.
Yeah, that's on. Yeah, next year.
Yeah,
I was looking forward to that.
I was very, very upset that got canceled. So, so then when this came up, I was like, because I still got to play with glass.
Okay, cool. All right, so we could, I guess, while we're here for the next couple of minutes, we could also just kind of, I guess, discuss what's upcoming. All right.
Hershey.
So Hershey, okay, which I will not be at.
And we got to think positive. You need to write some acceptance speeches down.
Yeah, I have not.
Yeah,
I will do something. I have actually not. I've always looked at like my competition and think, yeah, probably not. But you know what? I will write an acceptance speech, and I do expect you to live stream because I do want to see it.
Well, then I have to print out your acceptance speeches for the various things, because if I have them live streaming, then I can't go and look on my phone.
Okay, you can probably print out one. There's probably not. All right, here's the deal. All right. Why am I even saying that? You know what? I could possibly win all three.
You could.
I could, but then I won't need an acceptance speech for the traveling groomers. You'll be there. I will just have to do one for the other two, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will look at what you say for the other two, and I will say some stuff from that for the traveling groomers.
Yeah, there's really not going to be a whole lot of difference between one acceptance speech to another. Should I get like my crown ready for photos?
Well, you're not going to be in the photos because you decided not to come, lady. They're going to have to like edit you in or something.
Well, I understand Ren is an absolute magician.
Maybe he could edit you in. I'll just take one like this. I'll just stand there like this, and he needs to edit that in.
There we go.
Okay. I'm gonna make that happen anyway, regardless of when. I'm gonna try to hook that up. I'm like, Ren, this is what we got to do. I'm standing here like this. You're gonna edit in Mary. She's gonna have bunny ears. That would be awesome. Actually, I'm gonna find him before the awards even. I'm gonna say, look, this is what we gotta do. Although he's got to get a picture of you to edit in. So you have to dress up and have Ernesto take a picture.
Or I could see him at APF next year.
That is an unacceptable amount of time to wait for that. Unacceptable. Unacceptable! And I'll find a prize if anyone comes up to me and names that cartoon character that I just impersonated. I will find a prize for you. Okay. It might be a booby prize, but it'll be something. Because I am amused.
Okay, that's good. All right. So besides Hershey, I have 2 more summits for the rest of the year. The first one is next weekend. It's going to be a do-it-yourself summit. And then about a month after that, we're doing a sanitation summit. That'll end it up for the year for us. But there's still a load of trade shows, with Hershey simply being next. One of the shows I'm really, really going to miss, I'm going to miss the New England show.
You could come.
That's if I don't get banned from Delta after I have a conversation.
Oh, there are a bunch of other airlines. There are a bunch of other airlines.
So anyway, I guess we'll see next week. What's next week? I think next
week.
Tuesday. No, I'm good. That's the 7th of September.
Oh yeah, that's good. That should be good. There's one Tuesday coming up where I'm going to be like, Mary, I don't know. My client, who's now lives in Florida, I'm squeezing in at the end of the day because she now lives in Florida, and it is a very limited time that I can get to her.
That's okay. You just let me know which Tuesday we will not be here.
Okie dokie.
Right. And we had no one comment on our background. Just saying.
The tie-dye thing in the back, not this background. This has been here. Have to get my Evolution Shears banner back up. But
okay,
all right, guys.
All right, we will see everybody next week.
And yeah, just saying, you could come up to New England if you felt like it.
All right, we got it. It's lovely.
I don't know, New England in the fall. I don't know what's nicer.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Mary's like, so is my backyard, bitches.
So is my backyard. All right. And we'll probably be about 30 degrees warmer than Sturbridge, Massachusetts.
So you have hot apple cider.
Yep.
What's your point? Hello, Shelley.
All right. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye.